Okay. So before I turn it over to the project manager, I'm going to go over just a little bit of housekeeping. I'm also going to introduce your project manager and our speakers for today, and then they'll go over the details of the project, and then we will open it up to Q&A after that. So today we have Nate Murphy, who is the project manager and bridge engineer for this project. You can find his contact information right here. You don't have to furiously write it down. We will show it a couple different times throughout the presentation. I'll also show you after the presentation of where you can find it on our website. So we've got Nate here. And then we also have Aaron Burkholtz, who is the senior project manager, and you've got Aaron's contact information here. Nate will be your primary contact, but Aaron is also very knowledgeable and one of our bridge engineers as well. So before I turn it over to them, I just wanted to mention right now the meeting audio and video is being recorded. So we will post it to our website, which is wcroads.org, in the next day or two. And then, so you're welcome to download it there, or we've also have it on our YouTube channel. We also will be asking you to virtually raise your hand during the Q&A period. So if you'd like to ask a question verbally after our meeting or after our presentation, we'll provide instructions as to how to do that. And then lastly, chat is enabled on this meeting. So if you would rather ask your question in chat, I will read those off when we get to the Q&A period. So with that, I'll turn it over to Nate.
Okay, good morning. Again, I'm Nate Murphy. I'm the bridge engineer here at the Washtenaw County Road Commission. We are beginning a preventative maintenance project for this bridge, the bridge over the Huron River. And this is a project that we are doing to help extend the life of this bridge. The bridge is currently rated at 7, which is a good condition, and we want to keep it that way. And so this bridge, we just want to, it's just like with your car, you want to change your oil, you want to take care of it so that it lasts through the good life of the bridge. So our, if you go to the next slide, this actually here, wait a minute, right here, if you go back one, this is the location that we're talking about. I'm sure everyone's familiar with the bridge at the dam there. So we will be working on only the bridge portion of it. We will not be extending down into the dam. So if we go to the next slide, the scope of work for the bridge will be to replace portions of the approach sidewalk. We're doing deck and curb patching. We are doing replacement of the expansion joints. We're placing an epoxy overlay over the driving surface, and we're doing guardrail upgrades to the bridge. Already performed, we've got some work done already. If we go to the next slide, this was a picture of the sidewalk prior to what we have done. We had a chance in our schedule to get some work done before the full bridge closure, and we took advantage of that. We did a lane closure and did the removal of the edge of the sidewalk. If we go to the next one, we saw cut out some of the sidewalk there that was in very poor condition and put in some additional reinforcement. Next slide. These are just some pictures of the work that has already done. We had planned to do this during the full road closure, but this was able to get done early. Here we are pouring back in the sidewalk at the nose there. And the next one shows the completed work there. Looks in really good condition now. We're glad that that was able to get completed on an earlier timeline. So the remaining portion of the work will include, like I said, we'll be doing some deck patching, and we'll be replacing the expansion joint. So these are operations that need to be done with the road fully closed. If you go to the next slide, please. This is not the location. This is just another bridge that we're working on currently. But you can see to get this expansion joint down the center here is the joint. We have to cut out the full deck for about 1.5 feet either side of the joint, and we'll be placing this expansion joint device through that. And to do that, we need to have the road fully closed. We'll also be doing some deck patching, and where any delamination has occurred, we'll be cutting it out and repouring that to, again, this is an effort to keep the bridge in good condition. After that work is completed, we'll pour this expansion joint back in, and we'll be doing some guardrail upgrades on the ends of the bridges. So after that, we will reopen the bridge. We have our timeline. If we go to the next slide. Okay, backing up, our contractor is E.T. McKenzie. They're out of Ann Arbor. They did the initial part of the work, and they will be completing this part. They're out of Ann Arbor, and we are planning to start this closure on June 28th. That's Monday. The work should extend and be completed by the end of July. We're hoping that would, weather permitting and all the other issues that can come up, we're hoping that it'll be done by then. So that'll include removing of the joint and the deck patching. The one issue that we are currently dealing with is a shortage of material for the epoxy overlay. We're not sure when that timing will be to get that in. When that is available and we have the product that we need, we will be doing that with just a lane closure. It will not be a full closure, and we will let you know when that is about to be put down. So if you go to the next slide, we can talk about our detour. Very simple detour. We're just going down Textile to Rawsonville to Grove Road. As you can see here, it goes around the block. It's not that long, and we will be monitoring. Requested that our traffic and safety group monitor the signals on this route to make sure the timing is adequate for the change in traffic volumes. If we go to the next slide, we want to talk about safety in the work zone. This will be a full road closure. In order to get the work done, we will be keeping everyone out to keep everyone safe. The closure applies to vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians. The sidewalks will be closed. There is just a portion of the approach sidewalk there. It doesn't extend, but we will be closing that so to keep everyone safe. So we would appreciate you honoring that and finding your way around. Otherwise, we have the detour there posted. Short and simple, we're just hoping that this project can go off quickly and without issues. And we're hoping that it'll help the bridge extend its life and we can maintain it in a good condition. So with that, if we have any questions, I'm happy to address those.
Thanks, Nate. Before we go into the Q&A period, Aaron, is there anything else that you wanted to share before? And then I'm going to show how you can find the project page on our website and subscribe to project updates. Aaron, is there anything else that you wanted to share?
Just a couple of notes here, Emily. Thank you. And Nate, thank you for the presentation and the details on this upcoming project. Nate had touched on the fact that the contractor for this job is E.T. McKenzie out of Ann Arbor. We've worked with McKenzie several times in the past on bridge projects. And we have a variety of bridge projects that we receive federal funding for. We receive that through the Michigan Department of Transportation. And those types of bridge projects can be, at one end, it can be a full bridge replacement. At this end, what we're going to be doing for Bridge Road is referred to as preventative maintenance. And again, that preventative maintenance is intended to address relatively minor issues with the bridge, but to make that investment to extend the life of the bridge. Because a bridge replacement is such an expensive undertaking and is so disruptive, really the better approach is to invest in this infrastructure. As Nate compared it to changing the oil in your car, you want to maintain that asset. And really that's what this bridge is it's an asset to the community, to our infrastructure. And so we very much need to do this work. The contractor, E.T. McKenzie, has a contract with the Michigan Department of Transportation, and the Road Commission has an agreement with the Michigan Department of Transportation to use these federal aid funds and to administer the project, basically to oversee the work and to oversee that the federal funding is used in a wise manner and that it's applied in the manner in which it was intended to be. So just a little point of clarification there. I'll restate what Nate noted, that it's very important that motorists as well as bicyclists and pedestrians recognize a closure is to protect their safety as well as those that are within the work zone, the bridge crews that are going to be performing this work. And we've unfortunately seen recently over the past 2 or 3 years, motorists and bicyclists and pedestrians disregarding closures. And that can create a very dangerous scenario. So we take it seriously. We also are not blind to the fact that this does cause a disruption to motorists, to the local community. So we don't take this lightly. But again, we need the bridge closure to ensure everyone's safety and to effectively and efficiently complete what we're undertaking on this bridge. Nate mentions that we're going to be replacing the expansion joint on the bridge. And again, not to go into too long of a tutorial on that, but a bridge throughout its life expands and contracts with loading, with traffic loading, and with changes in temperature. And certainly we see a wide variety of temperatures and weather conditions here in the state of Michigan. And so that's really why that expansion joint exists on a bridge, is to allow that bridge to expand and to contract. He also mentions the epoxy overlay. And just a clarification on that, what that does is that would be the last step that we would take in this preventative maintenance package. And that's intended to seal the surface of the deck to prevent water and in particular salt from penetrating into the deck. That can be detrimental to the long-term performance of the bridge. But unfortunately, what we're seeing statewide at this point is contractors are having a very difficult time securing those materials that are related to that epoxy overlay. So we're continuing to work with Michigan Department of Transportation to take guidance from them as to what we would do in case of us not having that material available by the end of July. In all likelihood, that material will not be available by the end of July. We would still hope to do that step, to take that step of placing that epoxy overlay. But again, we have to work with MDOT and with our contractor to see when that work can be performed. And when we do perform that work, it would be under traffic. There would be lane closures, there would be traffic regulators, flaggers would be out on site. So again, it's something that we're going to have to wait and see how that might unfold. And then, as Nate mentioned, we are working with the Road Commission traffic and safety staff to monitor and to update the signals at Textile and Rawsonville, as well as Rawsonville and Grove, and to make adjustments in as much as we're able to try to better move traffic. Again, it's not lost on us that this is a disruption to the community, and we very much appreciate everyone's support. Ypsilanti Township, certainly working with Mike at the Ford Lake Dam, that's been very much appreciated. We appreciate our emergency responders being understanding, and we work to try to make sure that EMS, including fire and police, are well aware of the fact that we're going to have a closure in place. We want to make sure that safety is first. But anyway, that's what I have to offer at this point, Emily. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm going to pause my share here for a second, and I'm going to show the project webpage so that you can see how you can find out more about this work. So 1 second, let me get myself situated here. So Aaron, can you see our website now? Okay, great. So as I mentioned, so we've got a lot of information. I'm going to post the meeting recording of today's meeting on this. I'll show you where I'll post it. But we work very hard to have a very robust website that has a lot of information. This is wcroads.org, which again is the Road Commission's website. So today when we're talking about a project, you can find it by going under roadwork and construction, and then you can go see our current projects page. And if you scroll down, you can see all of the different projects that we have going on across the county. It's been a very busy construction season and it will continue to be one. But all of these different blue segments or dots, depending on what kind of project it is, but they all have a project page behind it. So here, over here, we've got our Bridge Road Bridge. So we're going to click more info and we're going to go right to the project page itself. And so you can see a little bit more about the project. We've got the new dates in here. We're going to start, as Aaron and Nate both mentioned, the closure will start on Monday, the 28th. And then if you scroll down, we've got Nate's contact information here. We've got a link to the detour map that we showed in our slides. We also will provide periodic project updates about the work that's going on under the closure here under the latest updates. And lastly, you can find this button here where you can subscribe to receive project updates. So if I click on this, you can see you just would enter your email address in. We do updates for all sorts of things. So if you wanted to know about other things going on in Ypsilanti Township, for example, you would just select Ypsilanti. And then you can say what type of email you would like to receive. We also do a weekly roadwork schedule that we just send out. We send out every Thursday morning. And then lastly, if you want to receive updates about specific projects, you can select which project. So you'd want to select this Bridge Road Bridge project here at the bottom. And then as we are sending out project updates, you will get an email with the information that is also posted here on the website. So as I mentioned, there's lots of other things on the website. We encourage you to take a look at it, but that's where you can find the information about this project itself. I'll post another link to it in the chat once we get back into the Q&A period. So let me go back into the slides here. Okay, and we can dive into the Q&A period. So let me just give a few instructions if you do want to ask a question verbally. There's a couple ways you can do that. If you're joining us from your computer or smartphone, you can first click the reactions or the participants button at the bottom of your screen. And then you'll want to look for the raise hand button. Where it's located depends on what version of Zoom you have. And so it could be at the bottom of your screen under reactions, or it could be at the top under participants or reactions. It just depends on if you have the latest version of Zoom. If you're joining us from your touch tone phone, you can dial *9 and that will raise your hand. Those who have raised their hands, I'll unmute them one at a time for you to ask your question. You can always ask your question as well in chat if you'd rather do that, and we can answer questions directly I'll read your questions off if they're in chat. So I will include a link here to the project page that I just showed. Is there anybody out there that has a question for us? Nate and Aaron, you must have provided a lot of good information. We don't have any hands raised or any questions in chat. Aaron, Nate, do you guys want to talk just a little bit about the schedule? We did have somebody join us after we talked about the schedule. So can we just do a quick refresher on the schedule, and then we do have a hand raised. So
sure. The schedule, as Nate had mentioned, and as Emily reiterated, the contractor E.T. McKenzie intends to close the Bridge Road Bridge to implement the detour via Textile, Rawsonville, and Grove, and to begin the bridge work on this coming Monday, June 28th. The work is expected to extend through July until the end of July. And then at that point, our hope is the work will be substantially completed and we can reopen the bridge. There are variables that are introduced into any construction schedule, and we certainly see that on the road and bridge side of things. Working on an older bridge can be like working on an older house. As you start to perform the work, you may discover things that you were unaware of that need to be fixed, and certainly that's been the case on past bridge preventative maintenance projects. We certainly hope that to not be the case, but we do take advantage of being out on the job site with a skilled contractor and with the ability to perform the repairs that are needed. The other factor is weather. And so we have to be mindful of the weather as we're performing the work that's to be undertaken.
Great. Thanks, Aaron. It looks like we do have a question from Jimmy Wilson. You should be able to unmute yourself. Yep. We
Hi,
should be
can you
able
hear
to hear you. We can, yeah, if you want to introduce yourself and then ask your question.
Okay, I'm trustee Jimmy Wilson. I'm on the board of trustees here in Ypsi Township. And I just want to say thank you for doing this presentation and keeping everyone informed of things going on with the road work. My question I had, and I could have missed it. I know that you said pedestrians, this will be closed to vehicles and pedestrians. I know some pedestrians are walking from the apartment complex there to Grove Road to catch the bus. Was there any thought where pedestrians would be able to go, or any thought put behind it as far as folks who need the bus transportation that obviously is not offered on Bridge Road, but they do walk down Bridge to get to Grove? Is there anything for that?
Okay, thank you for your question. Thank you for joining us today. Nate or Aaron, I don't know which one of you want to. I can pull up the detour map again too, so we can.
We do not have a way to get the pedestrians over, through the zone. We will be working on, so the bridge will be fully closed. So that would not be, to get the pedestrians through there. It's not a good way to go for during this construction period.
Yeah, and Jimmy, thank you for the question. And as Nate noted, we don't have a viable means of getting the pedestrians back and forth across the bridge during the construction. Again, keeping their safety in mind as well as the crew that's out there. But what we can certainly do is reach out to the ride, reach out to the bus service, and inquire if there be some temporary means of possibly offering a pickup on the south side of the bridge. Maybe that'd be something, and Nate, please plan on following up with the ride to discuss that and see if we can, maybe they can provide some accommodation, knowing that there are riders that come from south of the bridge, walk up to Grove Road to catch the bus.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Are there any other questions out there? Any questions that you want to put in chat, or if you want to verbally ask your question? I'll go back to the instructions here. You can do that by clicking the reactions button and then the raise hand button. It could also be under participants button and then the raise hand, or you can dial *9 if you're joining us from your touch tone phone. Okay, it doesn't look like we've got any other hands raised. Aaron and Nate, is there anything that you'd like to add? We'll keep this short and sweet today. Is there anything else you guys would like to add before we, let's see, we did actually just get a question in chat, so let's go there. Chris is asking, what exactly does need to be repaired on the bridge? And I can go back to some of the pictures too to help explain that. I think Chris joined us a little bit into the presentation.
Yeah, no problem. We are just doing concrete patching. You can see if you go back even farther, we have already started this work. The sidewalk was in very poor condition, and we have already patched that through the length of the bridge. And the remaining portion of the work would include just patching. If there is some quantity of delamination of the concrete deck, and we would be chipping that out and repouring that, as well as we'll be replacing the expansion joint device, which is there's a picture of an example there that shows you have to remove a portion of the deck either side of the joint. You replace the steel joint itself, and then you repour that. So it requires you to close the full width of the road to do the full width of the bridge to do that work.
Great.
The last item was to add an epoxy sealant. It's a coating that we put across the driving surface of the bridge deck that seals the deck from salts and material water going down into the cracks of the deck, and makes the life of the bridge much longer.
Great, thanks, Nate. Yeah, I think, Chris, it's important to know that what we're trying to do is minimal so that we can keep extending the life of this bridge. So it is not a full replacement or anything like that, but that that we're trying to help prevent that and help to extend the life of this structure for many, many years. So as Nate mentioned, we've got some work to do, but it's not anything as extensive as a bridge replacement. But that's the point, is we're trying to keep it in good shape for as long as we can. So, okay, any other questions out there? I don't see any raised hands, but if there's any other, if you want to raise your hand, go for it. No problem, Chris. Glad that we got the information to you. Let's see. So we'll go back to our last slide here. As we mentioned, we've got lots of information on the website. That's where I will post the meeting recording if you want to share it with people who weren't able to join us there. We'll probably have it posted either by the end of the day today or early on Monday. And then we will also be sending out an advisory, just notifying the community about the road closure, because the road closure will start Monday, the 28th. And so we appreciate everybody coming today. Nate and Aaron, is there anything you guys would like to add to close us out here?
I think that's all.
We appreciate those that attended taking the time today. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. And we will be out there on Monday and hopefully get in and out as quickly as we can and get this bridge extending the life of it. So thanks everybody for coming, and we hope you have a good rest of your day.